Yo, what's going on? How's everybody doing? How is the audio? Audio for the house. Marco, what's up? What's up? What's up? My friends, good to see everybody. What the fuck is that sound? Hold on one sec. I got a little echo life. Oh, there. I got to shut that off. My bad. All right, guys. I hope everybody's well. Happy Thanksgiving. You guys, hopefully, some of you degenerates are hanging out with their family, friends, doing a little eating, a little drinking, watching them Detroit Lions tomorrow, right? Yeah. All right, all right. Good. So, how's everybody's trading going? Give me a rundown. What you guys trading today? Woo-woo. Good, 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 good. Well, let's get some charts and do what we do, and we'll get this pate started. Yeah, BCC looks hot to try. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on here. Let's do a little share screen. See, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming out as always. All right. Good. So let's talk a little bit about the cryptos, and we'll get this party moving. So, one of the things that we've been trading quite a bit of recent is this Bitcoin Cash, which has actually been really, really an interesting play because, it sat around for, I don't even know, months and months and months and months. Let me see if I can pull up this fucking chart here. Hold on. So it sat around for literally months in that $300 kind of range. I'm going to bring up a chart here in a hot second. There we go. I don't know what's going on. BCC, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So you can see, like, we've been trading this thing really since I think our first buys were in the 400. Then we really shredded a huge trade in the 600s. And we're back in this thing. But you can see this thing's really been kind of shredding along. And, one of the things that people have been asking really is, is this potentially the new Bitcoin? And you know what? Nobody really knows. But I will say something is this thing is more fun to trade than Bitcoin. It's recently, not well the last few months, but recently the range has gotten into such a point that there is just so much trading action going that, just trading 15, 20 shares, I mean, you can rip like $100 kind of moves really, really fast. I think that's really something that's kind of important. So, will this be the new Bitcoin? Nobody knows, but I don't know how long Bitcoin took to get into the thousands, right? This thing's gone from 300 to in the thousands relatively quickly. So, whether this is new Bitcoin or not the new Bitcoin doesn't really matter. It's fucking fun to trade. It is, and that's all you can ask for. Is it fun to trade? And it's easier to get in and out than even Bitcoin. And I have to trade this on Bittrex. You can't trade this on GDAX or some of the other platforms. So I trade this on Bittrex, and it's been just a monster shredder. We took this thing, a few weeks, 2 weeks ago, on that 600 break, and it was, I mean, it was the trade of trades. I actually had a fucking wedding, so I had to actually bail and sell this early because my buddies, it was my best friend's wedding, the butt dog, and he was just blowing me up, saying like, dude, it's my wedding. You can't bring a laptop everywhere. And before you know it, man, I had to close out my trade. But you can see in the chat room, in our crypto chat room, we started playing this. into the 600. We got a great group of people, by the way. But in the crypto chat room, we started playing this in the 400s, but then the alert was right here at 643. So one of the things about trading, guys, is, oh shit, you know what? I'm on my laptop and the sound quality always sucks on here. Whatever. I don't really care. I don't. What can you do? Prognosis negative. One of the things that so one of the things that you can see here is if you have set up on your daily chart and looks like it could run for a few days, if you can time it intraday, with a pattern like a flat top pattern. Now what you're really going to have is, potentially an extended run, because that's called aligning on multiple time frames, right? How do you align on multiple time frames? And from there, this thing just got shredded, and 700. I ended up selling all mine in the 900s, my last shares, and right after I did that, you could see we ended up with another flag pattern, and then there was an awesome pattern at 1400. It was my buddy's wedding, though. I was not there. Yeah, Shane, nobody gives a shit what you think. No, I'm just playing, man. But seriously, nobody cares about the quality of sound. This ain't France. We're traders here. We don't have mics running around. I don't carry a mic in my purse. So that's the way the bad boy goes. So now that this thing ran to 2,500, what's happening here is a digestion period. So it went parabolic. It came down to its MAs, and you're starting to bounce here. But guess what happens? You started to consolidate in this really nice tight range right above the 9 EMA. So what you can see here, this is called range compression, guys. When you see a range that just sits around for a while, it's called range compression. And range compression can actually be very, very, very powerful if you can time them correctly. So this range compression is telling me actually that we may see another run in this really soon. As long as it can kind of come here. If it takes out this previous high, this candle right here, that's at about 1378, 1380. I think that, we're going to be off to the races. Will it get to 2,500? I doubt it. I mean, that'd take, really some work. We could see 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 really, 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 really quickly. So we're actually in this thing again. We added this thing back in the morning. We're in this thing again. I think that this thing's got a little bit of chance here. You can see, it's hard to catch these on the first spike. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but catching them on the first spike is usually a little bit hard. But, once they kind of come back, they hold at a level, then, you've got a much lower risk entry, as long as you can just time it correctly. What I usually like to do is I like to see where it's going to pull back, and then, you usually will draw a trend line just so you got kind of an area to hold it and then go. My original ad on this was here, and I ended up getting stopped out as it broke under the VWAP, but when it held and remounted, I essentially got back. The commissions on the Bittrex, I mean, when you trade at Bittrex and you see the commissions, you feel like calling your fucking senator, to complain. It really is just a huge piece of shit, because they'll charge you $25 for a $10,000 buy, essentially. It's 0.25% of the. It's 0.25% of the. Whatever you would call it, 25% of your buy. So you're you're gonna get really some pricey commissions, So I'd be careful. So one of the things that I do is, I do my bigger. So I do the big three, which is your Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin. I trade those straight at. Shit, man, this thing is just not pulling back for me. I do these. I do the big three at GDAX, so I can save on commissions, because GDAX, if you do those market orders, you're gonna pay a lot. But if you do limit orders and add liquidity on GDAX, you can really, really get some nice moves. This Ethereum looks hot to trot. Hold on one second. So you can see right here is like your sweet spot. I wouldn't chase this thing up right here, but if you start to see it pull back tonight, you're going to need to get it back into 360, 368, 370 zone. I mean, when this thing takes out this zone here, I mean, I think we get the 400. You can see here real quickly, if you're just looking at a straight daily chart, I mean, that's a powerful pattern. We've been talking about this pattern for really since we started doing these YouTube lives, how this trend line has been holding. And as the range gets tighter, right? So you have a wide range and you start to compress. When you start to compress, that's when you can really, really get a nice move. And so you see the wide range got tighter and tighter and tighter. And now we're making the run. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing hit the fours relatively soon. We had a swing entry in this thing the other day in the 330 range. And I ended up selling it out in 360s, the last of it. I think I got to re-enter this thing. It's looking hot to trot. So intraday, what you need to see on this is just let this thing come back a little bit. Like, I don't like chasing these things up, especially Ethereum, because anytime you chase this thing up like $4 or $5, it ends up getting just shamackled. The Ripple news on American Express, I don't think it was probably means anything. It's just a fancy headline, if anything. This is the one that we really should have been trading, though. I had this thing at fucking $100. Just fucking XMR. Look at that thing. Well, I don't know why these things are not linked. Link symbol to all charts. Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, there. Check this thing out. Woo! Look at that VWAP tap. You see that nice trend and then the VWAP tap? When you get a big thrust in the VWAP tap and hold, you get really, really nice pushes. Holy crap. I mean, that's the move, man. I had this thing on this breakout right here. I sold this thing way too early. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, look at that thing just shred. So, we'll see. The LTC looks okay. Let me pull up the chart here. What the fuck? This trading view's acting a little shady today. Yeah, LTC looks all right. It doesn't look as good as Ethereum, but it looks, as long as it holds above the 9, it's kind of just grinding along. I mean, I don't see anything like so explosive, but it's definitely starting to trend. Man, this is the stuff that shook us all out. It shook me out on ETA soon. You can see that when that US Tether thing got hacked, it was good to go. I've never heard of Power before. I'm not familiar. What's the ticker? I've never seen that. Power, what's the pair? The platform I'm using is, this is called TradingView. It's pretty good. You can do a lot on it. It's got a lot of features, and you can change around the backgrounds, and you can change around the themes of whatever you want, and change around the colors and all that fun stuff. I like to, because I'm at the computer a lot, kind of like to keep a darker theme. It's just easier on my eyes. Hey, Master, what do you think of the net neutrality news? I have not heard any net neutrality news, nor do I actually even know what that means. But I'm not much of a reader of news. I mean, besides TMZ. Like, I did read about that old congressman sending those dick pics to people. Now, that shit was funny. Well, I haven't heard anything about the net neutrality stuff. I'm not really that hip into some of that stuff. Or Ledger. Yeah, it did have a nice run, but now, I don't know. This one is a little bit more dicey because, it kind of popped up and it's faded back, and now it's trending, but I don't know. It doesn't have a pattern yet because it just opened. So I guess beyond just it having some momentum, I don't know I don't really have any other thoughts on this one yet. Beyond just keep it on your watch list. It looks like it's a nice mover for sure. It even seems like it's liquid enough. Yeah, I think Ethereum's going to be the play. Ethereum and BCC, these are the plays for the coming week. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that bad boy. We just got to let this thing settle, and this is going to be... I don't have an account at Oanda. I've never actually heard of Oanda. I use daily and 15-minute confirmations for... I use daily and 15-minute confirmations for cryptos. I use 5-minute charts for... I use 5-minute charts for stocks. Don't have as much volume, so you kind of need longer term charts. You know what? And does anybody have an Oanda account? I've never actually heard of anybody trade there. I think it's more of a futures broker. Is it Forex? I don't know. I trade G. My thing is just GDAX. I like GDAX and I like Bittrex, but I don't use any of the Forex brokers. Man, how do you get rid of this thing? I was full screen for a second. Anybody know how to get this thing back to full screen? Motherfucker. Oh, there. Cool. Yeah. I haven't been trading. I don't like trading Forex for some reason. The fills are always a little wanky. People make money on the spread. You can always see some weird shit going on in Forex. This is your spot, folks. Let it come back. Ideally, we just come back, tap the 9, and then you got to go. Yeah. Some of the other ones, so like this Dash looks decent, but it already took off. You can see it's up about 100 points today. I don't know what the deal is with this thing today. Dash. Yeah, Dash is a good mover. It lacks a little bit of volume, but you can see like it has that real nice chart and trender. You can see today, like you had that nice move, pull back to the VWAP, and now you're ready to go. Dude, I would totally come to Norway. So I think the plays are going to be, we've got to definitely, it's going to be ETH, BCC for this coming week. I think the BCC could be even really ready now. I'm in about 1290s. 1294 is my average. So I let this thing pop up, and I wait for a green candle to hold. So now as this thing starts to settle, it'll look good. It really needs to get over this 1360. And if it can, my thing is you'll be able to really, really, you might get 1,500 relatively soon. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah, you know what? We'll pull up the chart for XRP. So XRP is weird because it's just kind of sitting around in this range. Like, it's just not a good trader. It hasn't been a trader for a while, so I'd probably leave this one just alone for now because it's just not a good trader. But those are going to be the plays for this coming week. I'd go ETH first, BCC second. Those are going to be the hot ones. Guys, it is Thanksgiving, and I got to run. My mom's been barking at me. I got to take her to the movies. But I will see everybody next week. All right, next week. I do have some long-term plays. ETH, LTC. I'm not in any Bitcoin anymore. I've sold out of it. And then, I've been eyeballing some XMR for a while, but the damn thing won't. The damn thing won't pull back. You know, and then out of the smaller ones, I do like the strat. You know, I've had some good success with the Lisk, LSK, and Stratus coin. The Lisk really moves well. Let me get a chart for you guys. Hold on here. The Lisk moves really well. So you can see this thing just came recently out of range here and had a breakout. It ran from 4 to 1250, so it's having a little volatility right now. But this is going to be, this thing moves really well for an altcoin. So when you see these kind of basing patterns where you get the range consolidate like that, they can be really powerful on some of these little altcoins. You know, just because it's an alt doesn't mean it has to be a penny. I kind of like the ones that are $2-3 the most, because I've noticed they run all the way to 5 to 10 really fast. We're supposed to go see Thor at 6. I love the Thor movies. I had to take my mom, but I chose the movie. You know what? BTC does not look like it's done running. You know, beyond I keep a couple for pairs trading, I haven't been really holding any for actual trades, but it does not look like it's done. Yeah, I heard it's actually kind of a comedy, which is weird, but I love the Thor movies. Great. All right, friends, I got to get going, but I will be back next week. Peace in the Middle East, as they say, back in the 80s. Hey, guys, watch that ETH. We better not come back. I better not come back next week and ask everybody how they did on ETH and it's $500 and nobody hit it. I don't think it's going to be $500, but we might see 400s. All right, and guys, email me if you have any questions about anything. Hold on, let me type in my email. Bullson.ws. You guys email me if you need anything. I know it's the holidays and stuff, but I'll be working through and trading and doing all that fun stuff. All right? All right, later, my friends. Later.